So I don't have any drinking problems.
Okay. Well, then it's not a problem.
So why stipulate it? I like to drink. Why stipulate it? Is drinking illegal? Am I underage?
Something in the water in Connecticut, and we're about to see another one of those wacky Connecticut parole hearings. I'll unpack it with the details at the end.
Good morning. My name is Ulices Corona, inmate number 267628.
This hearing is being conducted in consideration of the parole application for Ulices Corona 267628. He is serving a sentence of 30 months jail, followed by 30 months special parole for 3 counts of robbery third. As of today, records reflect a parole eligibility date of November 23rd, 2024 at 85%. There's no victim input in this case. There is an offender accountability plan for the offender. It has been reviewed and shows he has stated he has completed voices to date. Utilizing the statewide collaborative offender risk evaluation system, the offender overall score for the SRT falls within the high range for recidivism. Mr. Corona, this is your opportunity to express to the board why you believe you should be granted parole. You may begin.
Okay, thank you for this opportunity. I'd like to thank all of you individually for hearing me out. I've been in a bit of a difficult situation. I was having kind of a rough time before my incarceration, and I fully own up to the mistakes I made. I'm not making excuses, but I had to address some issues and needs that I had when I was out there. I'm basically homeless, penniless, jobless, and carless and clothless. And I just had a really rough time. I was dealing with depression at the time. I was able to obtain mental health care and therapy, and I benefited greatly from that. In addition to the Voices program for which I was stipulated, from which I benefited greatly, I also completed the Seeking Safety program at Harford County, which is not on it was not on my OAP and it's not in the database, but it is a valid DLC program. And I do have that certificate presently. I have the, you mentioned, already mentioned the Voices program, so I do have that. But this is the certificate for the Seeking Safety program that I took at Harford County, and I completed that successfully, and that was very helpful. I have been granted halfway house eligibility was granted to me on community release approval for the 6th of August. I was approved. And I was also grateful for that. I'm also very grateful to have a supporting family, marketable working skills. And I just look forward to going home and availing myself of whatever help is out there so that I can go into a structure where I can provide for myself and get on my feet and make a life for myself and be there for my family.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Corona.
Thank you.
We've prepared questions based on the documents that were available to us, and we'll each take turns asking you those questions, and we'll discuss your case and make our decision. So I read, I'll begin, that your repeated acts of bank robbery was a cry for help. Why don't you explain that to me?
Yes. When I mentioned that I was in a state of desperation and penniless and homeless and jobless, I've been in conversation with authorities who are aware that I have a whistleblower claim for being stopped, blocked from employment. I've been gang abused, and I've been hounded and basically tortured. And that's an ongoing situation that I was advised. In fact, from somebody within the inmate population, embedded in the inmate population, told me that it is being addressed. And that's an ongoing situation that I seek to
Okay, I was
refer
really
to
referring
proper
to when you were
authorities.
out in the community and committing bank robberies. It was a cry for help because you were without a home and you had mental health issues.
I needed to get in touch with authorities somehow.
Okay, you had a probation officer. Were you in touch
I
with
was
your
in danger
probation
from gang
officer?
violence.
Were you in touch with your probation officer?
At the time, I did not have a probation officer.
You were on probation for criminal mischief at the time that you committed these bank robberies in 2022. So during this period of incarceration, you've accumulated 4 disciplinary reports, including one for fighting in January of this year. And you have, a lengthy criminal history. Are you taking care of your mental health needs currently?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
As far as those
Do you
tickets
know how
are
to take care
concerned,
of them out in the community?
yes.
Great. Okay. And congratulations on being approved this month for DOC halfway house release. You finished this sentence in March, and then you'll begin the 2.5 years of special parole. Do you understand the difference between parole and probation?
Yes, ma'am.
Great. Okay. I have no more questions. Mr. Rodriguez?
No, any questions, Madam Chair?
Okay.
No questions.
No questions. Okay, so just give us a minute, Mr. Corona. Mr. Corona is not eligible as an 85% offender until the end of November. And then he is end of sentence, as I said, mid-March. So the fact that he has been granted by DOC, I think we can set his special parole conditions and wish him much success. That sound good?
Yep.
Okay, so I have nature and circumstance, offense on probation, and for institutional adjustment.
Fine. Okay.
Okay. So for conditions, I have halfway house, anger management, no alcohol, and a general no contact with Anthony Abreu Abon.
I'm sorry, this is for my parole stipulations?
Are you okay with that?
Good.
Okay. All right, we're ready, sir. In the matter of Ulices Corona, inmate number 267628, there is a motion to deny parole at this time for the following reasons: the nature and circumstances of your offenses being committed while you were on probation, and your poor institutional adjustment.
Can I
I
speak on that?
further move to set the following conditions for your 30 months of special parole: halfway house placement, behavior management for anger management, no consumption of alcohol, mental health evaluation and treatment, and a general no contact with Anthony Abreu Abon. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Can I speak on this, please?
Aye.
I have a serious
Before
objection
Before we, we're going to end the
that you're
hearing.
not aware
Yes.
of a certain circumstance.
Mr. Corona, This concludes your hearing.
Why?
Because the board has made its decision and voted.
I have not been fully heard. I've been abused
Okay,
in
sir.
here. I'm gang attacked in here.
Well, you have.
I got
as you
hot water
explained-
thrown in my face. My face was melted off, and the Cheshire warden saw my face melted off, and I was not given proper medical attention. I've been a gang attacked in here. I would like to be heard.
Sir, you was heard.
Excuse me, I spoke on nothing about those tickets. You just said I got them and did not hear my side. All tickets are related to repeated systematic gang abuse, and I filed a PREA claim that was unresponded to. I was ignored on a PREA claim. This is not a joke. This is a real cry for help. I'm being tortured.
I'm sorry to hear that, sir. Please, write
So
to
what
the
about the
warden.
law?
Please write to the warden and let him know about your institutional, concerns that you have that's going on there.
What
as
about
a
the law?
person.
I have a letter here to the warden. Look at what it says. In
Well,
a
this
grievance. In a grievance, look at what it says. Wrong form. In a grievance. Claiming threats on my health and my safety.
Well, you explained to us that you've just been granted transitional supervision, halfway house by DOC. So we are pleased to hear that you'll be getting out of the facility soon, and we wish you much success.
And this concludes your hearing
I
for
think
today.
you've made an
Mr.
uninformed
Corona.
and wrong decision.
Sorry you feel that way.
This
I'm
concludes
right.
the hearing for Mr. Corona, 267-628. Mr. Corona, have a nice
Right.
day.
And I don't have drinking problems, so I don't know what you said about drinking.
Part of your mental health evaluation is that you have,
I'm a mental health too. I have the papers right here.
yes, and we're looking at an evaluation.
So I don't have any drinking problems.
Okay, well, then it's not a problem.
So why stipulate it? I
We're done,
like to
sir.
drink. Why stipulate it? Is drinking illegal?
Mr.
Am I
Corona,
underage?
Your
Am I
hearing is
underage?
over. Your hearing is over, sir. You can
Why are you
step out the
treating me
room.
abusively?
We're not treating you abusively, sir.
Well, you are liable for doing your job improperly because you are public servants and you are not giving me my proper due. You're not affording me my due process and my right to speak on my behalf. You just accused me and didn't ask for what my point of view was. Do you consider that to be fair?
Yep.
Is that an impartial forum where I'm able to show you what happened in my case, even if I have a redeeming response?
So you heard the other two denial reasons, correct? Nature. and
I'm telling you,
circumstance.
I'm being tortured against the law, illegal.
Bring it up with the warden. That's nothing to do with the Board of Pardons and Parole.
Have a
sir.
nice day. I'll see you in court.
Thank
Okay.
you.
I'll see all of you in
Sir.
court.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to share some information with you, the unpacking, which might make you feel even more differently about this case in the way that if any of you are saying, wow, I feel bad for him, there might actually be some things going on. This guy's track record is so long. He is a dangerous man, and I'll share that information with you soon. I mean, a bank robbery is just one of the few things that he has done in his career as a criminal. But before we do, I want to jump into a highlight reel of some of the other wacky Connecticut parole hearings. It's about 3 minutes long, and then I'll unpack it with those details.
No parole for tape.
Okay.
No parole for tape.
So,
No parole for tape. None.
Okay.
Mr. Tate is not getting parole because of anger issues. That's what's going on here. No parole.
Obscene language, calling her a fucking clown, a fucking cracker, a fucking cracker, a fucking cracker, and a fucking monkey. You also stated I should have just fucking whooped your fucking ass with fucking cuffs off. And she's lucky I didn't crack her head. Based on your actions, you are in violation of Connecticut General Statute 53A-181, breach of peace in the second.
Constitutional adjustment. You would have been pissed off too. You would have been mad if you would have been sitting in jail for a crime that you didn't commit. Because guess what? This ain't my first time. This ain't my first time spending in jail for a crime that I didn't commit. You know, and I don't expect you to understand that because you're a paper pusher.
Board. That it's up to the parole board. So you're all set for today. And you'll know, like I said, about a week after March 14th. So I wish you the best of luck.
When people kill themselves because of you, that's on you.
I don't like I said, it doesn't mean shit if I get paroled or not. If I go home today or in a week, if I go home in 4, if I go back and like, you can't tell me I've never done this. If I lay in bed sometimes, I think about all the fucked up things I've done in my life. I'm like, bro, like I deserve more time. Let's be realistic. I probably deserve more time.
And out a couple of buildings, and then with the potato in the car, you know.
Can you tell us why you're in a yellow jumpsuit?
Because when I had got extradited here from New York, car in front of you, car in back of you, and it's just a lot. So when they had took me to the hospital, it was only one officer with no firearm, and it was no escort, nothing. So, and they shot
Mr. Bracero, you saw an opportunity where you could leave. You were expressing to your.
There's an allegation that the client may have been masturbating. That is not a crime to masturbate. Nowhere in our law is that deemed a crime. And under the elements, I will obey all laws. I must prove the elements of the crime alleged. There is no crime. There's no statute.
What did you do with this money, with this $10,000 that you got for these Ulexes at the pawn shop?
I didn't receive $10,000.
What did you get?
We got $600.
Wow. And what did you do with the money? My co-defendant took the money. And what's to do with it?
She probably got high with it.
All right.
You mean when am I leaving?
Well, May 9th is the recommended date. So the parole board's gonna vote. The parole board's gonna vote next week on the 21st.
You're kidding me.
That concludes the hearing. You're all set, sir.
Go fuck yourself.
No parole for Tate, and that never gets old. And I just need to point out that we've covered thousands of hearings from 5 different states, and we just don't see this happening in any of the other states. People show up to the parole hearings typically in their best behavior, and we just don't see that with Connecticut. I don't know if it comes down to the culture or what, but there's something off. The joke is just there's something in the water. And look, I mean, before you start feeling bad for him again, he has such a long criminal history. He served 18 years for killing a man. It was a street fight, but in this street fight, where it was like a melee with 3 other people, when the guy was hurt and down, he sits on top of his chest and he takes his head and he slams it against the pavement over and over and over after he was already down. They had walked away, and then they said he was goaded by his girlfriend, so he went back to finish him off. And he died 5 days later in the hospital. He took a trial by a 3-panel judge, not a jury, and they found him guilty of manslaughter instead of murder, which he was charged with, and conspiracy to commit murder. So he got 18 years. And then when he gets out, by the way, he goes and he violates a restraining order. That was arrest. He had like 5 more arrests. And then he does the bank robbery. And he only got 3 years. A judge actually said, you're a career criminal. You've killed a man, but I'll give you 3 years. Make it make sense. And the guy's getting out soon. So, we live in a system that I think is simply not designed sometimes to protect those who it needs to be protected from. I mean, I feel bad for that person who violated a protection order. That just seems scary. Anyways, if you didn't see it, you might not believe it. I mean, when he gets back and his parole is revoked, we'll cover that hearing too. So make sure you subscribe if you want to keep tabs. We keep tabs on everyone that we cover, and we'll revisit their follow-up hearings. So make sure you do that. Hit the notification bell. And with that, I'll let you go.
No parole for Tate.
Okay,
No parole for Tate.
so,
No parole for Tate. None.
okay,
Mr. Tate is not getting parole because of anger issues. That's what's going on here. No parole.